Meanwhile, the Islamic State group is continuing to expand and is already the largest terrorist entity in history. They're estimated to have more than 31,000 fighters. That's more than the armies of some countries. Now, they've captured at least 10 oil facilities and are churning out tens of thousands of barrels per day. The crude's being sold on the black market for much less than the $100 price tag of legal oil. And this is helping the jihadists rake in a reported $3 million a day to fund their operations. The US has pledged to crush the militants, but is still struggling to contain some less powerful adversaries, as Gunay Chichikan reports.
The US has declared an open-ended war on the Islamic State group.
And we're moving ahead with our strategy to degrade and ultimately destroy this terrorist organization.
This did little to set at ease those who remember the previous president's declaration of war against Al-Qaeda and the Taliban.
Our war on terror begins with Al-Qaeda, but it does not end there. It will not end until every terrorist group of global reach has been found, stopped, and defeated.
More than a decade and 2 bloody wars later, the Taliban in Afghanistan is far from embattled, and Al-Qaeda's offshoots wreak havoc across the globe, with the Islamic State Front controlling more resources and territory than Al-Qaeda ever did.
Going into this potential conflict, many people are wary of what that means because all of the money, the effort, the personnel, the time that was spent to fight those two wars didn't yield the outcome that people hoped and expected. In fact, just the opposite occurred.
Here's how Al-Qaeda has metastasized in the space of a few years. The Egyptian army is now trying to crush the advance of Islamist insurgent groups in Sinai. Rival jihadist militias are rampaging through Libya, and the government admits it's lost all control of the capital. Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula has become one of the terror network's most deadly offshoots, fanning out from Yemen and Saudi Arabia to Jordan and beyond. Al-Shabaab, born amid the chaos and lawlessness of Somalia, has unleashed deadly shootings and bombings in Uganda and Kenya. And in Nigeria, Boko Haram is tightening its grip on the country's northeast and raiding towns in Cameroon and Niger. But despite this, the White House claims its counterterrorism strategy has been a success.
Our goal is obviously to ultimately destroy them as well. This counterterrorism strategy, again, I'll shorthand it here, but it's important for people to understand, this is the strategy that the president has deployed with some success in these countries.
And the U.S. president never fails to mention.
We took out Osama bin Laden, much of al-Qaeda's leadership in Afghanistan and Pakistan.
And now the U.S. vows to go after the terrorists of the Islamic State group the same way.
The United States is at war with ISIL in the same way that we are at war with Al-Qaeda and its Al-Qaeda affiliates all around the globe.
Leaving many to wonder how quickly other terrorists will spring up to replace those the U.S. takes out. I'm Gunay Chichikan, RT, Washington, D.C.